Justin Gaethje, James Vick. Justin Gaethje continues his undefeated streak. And as much as that statement is inaccurate, it feels accurate to me. I don't feel like Justin Gaethje's ever lost, ever. He's just one of those guys, man. You get your money's worth. You leave with an appreciation. Your respect goes up for him, regardless of who gets his hand raised. He's just one of those guys. But I thought this was really meaningful. First off, James Vick is a super hard opponent with a very good record who absolutely deserved that spot. And when you're Justin Gaethje and you're coming off of, a couple that you got the silver medal, a couple of stoppages, a surprise in your career. Whoa, what just happened? I thought I was invincible. We see those guys fall from grace and never, ever come back. We see it all the time, particularly in this sport of combat. Guy gets his confidence rattled. Guy starts reading his press clippings and he believes them, whether they're saying good things or bad things, whatever it is, he believes them. And they simply never return. And you just didn't see any of that with Justin Gaethje. You saw him walk out there the same, and here's what the great ones do. Justin Gaethje's a great one. But make sure you understand this, okay? The great ones will walk out there the same way every time, whether it's a hard fight, a medium fight, or an easy fight. The great ones will have the same process. They will have the same team, the same coaches, the same trainers, same weight class, and fight under the same rules. They will warm up in the back. They will sleep as much the night before. They will eat the same breakfast the same day. They will listen to the same music. They will do everything the same. And I really thought that we saw that with Justin Gaethje. The pep in his step, the walk, the look in his eye, everything was the same in this fight as it was against Poirier, as it was against Eddie, as it was against Johnson, as it was against the 17 guys that came before them that all ended up face down. And I was very happy for Justin Gaethje. I was very proud for Justin Gaethje. I felt terrible for Vick. I actually thought Vick was fighting a really good fight. I realized there was only about a minute of that contest, but Vick was keeping his range. He's got those long arms. Boom. He was kicking Justin right up the middle. Boom. He was sticking him with a couple of shots. He was using his footwork. And Gaethje just timed it. He just timed it Mike Tyson-like. He was bobbing back and forth. He was finally starting to slip a couple of those punches. He was starting to avoid a couple of those kicks, and he stepped in and caught him. I know that's going to be a tough one for Vick. And I know that me saying a couple of nice words isn't going to repair some of that, but every now and then you have to go out there and get that main event experience. You know, the first time you go out there to get this experience, and the second time you come out there to perform, and the third time you go out there to win. That's generally the process of sport, any sport, basketball, racquetball, tennis, golf, any sport you have. In this sport, it's so unforgiving, and sometimes those opportunities don't come back. I hope they do come back for Vick. And even though he didn't get what he wanted, and not just the outcome, he didn't get to go out there and perform, right? He got his light shut off. In those brief moments and brief exchanges, he did do what he wanted to do. He did do what his game plan was. Ultimately, Gaethje stepped inside him. It's a two-man sport. It's pretty thoughtless. Gaethje did say one thing. A lot of people are calling for a Kevin Lee-Justin Gaethje fight. I get that. I understand that. I love that. But Gaethje did say one thing, and I think that we should all respect it and do our best to do it, which is he said, you know, I've been in training camp for 12 straight months. The only thing I would really like right now is a break. And I'm quoting him. He said, I don't need a long break, but if you could just give me a break. And I think the way he fights, I think particularly when you factor in that 3 of his 4 fights inside of the UFC have all been main events, which means he's training for 5 rounds. Training for 5 rounds is so difficult, let alone going out there and having those long matches. I just think when you look at that, and there's 2 of his 4, all right, you fact checkers out there, but the point is this, give him his break. That's not too much to ask for a guy that's given so much. Let's give him a little break. Let's chill out on the Kevin Lee talk and the everybody else talk. It's the first thing Gaethje's asked for. I'm willing to give it to him.